Imagine for a moment that everything you know about yourself is just a fraction of what truly exists, as if there were other versions of you, living in different realities, each following a unique path, with experiences, knowledge, and skills that you haven't accessed yet. These versions, which we call the parallel self, are connected to you by an invisible network of consciousness, like different branches of the same tree. But what if you could not only perceive these versions, but also access the knowledge and power they possess? Could it be that what you call you is just a temporary manifestation, limited by the perception of time and space? Perhaps the self you know is just a small part of a much larger being spread across multiple realities, with a consciousness that transcends the barriers of what we consider to be reality. These questions don't have simple answers, but one thing is certain. The more you expand your perception, the more you start to understand that the reality you know is just a superficial layer. When we begin to explore the idea of multiple versions of ourselves, we realize that what happens in one of these realities can directly impact the others. Your parallel self is already living in a reality where the desires you have today have already been achieved. But the question is, how do you access this version? Understanding the existence of these parallel versions can be the first step to unlocking abilities you never imagined you had. And the key to this lies in your ability to perceive time and reality differently, to open your mind to the possibility that the past, present, and future are happening simultaneously, and that you, at this very moment, have the power to connect with a wiser, more experienced, more capable version of yourself. And when you understand this, you can not only access that wisdom, but also bring the accumulated experience of these versions of you into the present. So I ask you, if you could learn from a self that has already achieved what you desire, how would that change your journey? When we open ourselves to this possibility, we begin to see that time and reality are merely tools that can be shaped by our intention and consciousness. And by doing so, we begin to transcend the limits imposed by physical reality. So today, you will discover the true power of your parallel self. Knowing that all your versions coexist, today you will learn not just how to observe your parallel versions, but how to live them. So the question remains, are you ready to discover who you truly are in all your forms? Time, as most of us perceive it, seems to be a constant, uninterrupted, and linear flow. A path that moves from the past, crosses the present, and advances toward the future. But this view of time, this rigid and unchangeable sequence, is just an illusion created by our minds. But what if time, like reality, doesn't follow a fixed pattern? What if, in fact, it can be shaped, bent, and even manipulated by the way we perceive it? The human mind, due to its own perceptual limitations, seeks order in the midst of chaos, and this need for structure results in the creation of linear time. But when you begin to look beyond this mental construct, you realize that time is not a straight line, but a vast ocean of possibilities that coexist simultaneously. It's not a universal constant that flows uniformly for everyone, but a projection of our consciousness. The key to deconstructing this traditional view is to expand your perception of time, understanding that it responds to your internal experience and can be manipulated according to your state of consciousness. Think about it. Have you ever stopped to think about how time seems to drag when you're bored, but flies when you're completely involved in a pleasurable experience? This is the first glimpse that time is malleable, a subjective experience that varies according to our emotions and focus. This is because time is actually an internal construction. It reflects the way we direct our attention and the intensity of our experiences. When we expand our consciousness and stop seeing time as something rigid, we begin to realize that it can be shaped as an instrument to our favor. So, we can say that expanding consciousness is the key that unlocks the true nature of time. Because when you expand your consciousness, your perception of the world changes dramatically. You begin to understand that the present moment is not just a point on the path to the future, but an infinite field where the past, present, and future coexist. And in this field of consciousness, there is not just one reality. There are multiple realities you can access and live, all interconnected. But what determines which reality you experience? Well, I'd say it's your perception. Expanding consciousness is like opening your eyes to a universe where all versions of yourself and all possible realities are already happening, and time is no longer a limiter but a tool for access. When you transcend the linear perception of time, you start to realize that you can jump from one timeline to another, a concept known as quantum jumping. But this jump is not physical, it's mental. It's a movement of your consciousness that allows you to access a version of yourself that already exists in another reality, a version that has already achieved what you seek. Your parallel self, who has already realized what you currently see as just a desire, has already understood the secrets of time and reality, and so lives in an expanded state of consciousness where the barriers between the now and the future don't exist. And when you expand your consciousness, you connect with that version, and what once seemed like a distant goal, something in the future, begins to manifest in the present. This process of accessing the future in the now is what many call quantum jumping. If you see your desires as something that can only be achieved someday, you're putting yourself at the mercy of a linear perception. But when you understand that everything you desire already exists in another reality, accessible through your consciousness, time begins to bend in your favor. In other words, you stop waiting for the future and start bringing that future into the present. This expansion of consciousness not only transforms your perception of time, but also the way you relate to your own reality. The more you expand your mind, the more you realize that you can navigate between different realities and versions of yourself. The wisdom that once seemed unreachable, the results that felt distant, become part of your present. Time, as we know it, collapses, and what remains is an infinite consciousness, capable of experiencing any moment in any reality at any instant. This understanding of the non-linear nature of time opens doors to a level of manifestation where time no longer dictates when or how your desires will be realized. Instead, your consciousness becomes the true agent of change, shaping your experience of time and space according to your will. And it is at this point that the connection with your parallel self becomes clearer. As we discussed before, your parallel self is a version of yourself that exists in an alternative reality and has already learned to navigate time and dimensions in a way that you may not yet fully understand. This version of you has already experienced the challenges you face now and found solutions, achieved the goals you so desperately want, and most importantly, understands how time can be used as a resource rather than a barrier. Your parallel self is an advanced manifestation of your own essence. It represents a version of you that has transcended the limitations imposed by the linear perception of time and space. Imagine that while you experience reality in a sequential way, one moment after the other, your parallel self has already discovered that all realities coexist. For this version of you, there is complete freedom to interact with the various realities available. It's as if your parallel self lives in a state of expanded consciousness, where every choice, every experience has already been lived and understood in ways that you're only just beginning to explore. The more you open yourself to the possibility that versions of you are experiencing parallel realities, the easier it becomes to access them. The key lies in your intention and focus. Through practices like visualization and meditation, you can align with the frequency of this parallel self, absorbing its wisdom, insights, and achievements. By doing this, you not only gain clarity about your own journey, but you also start bringing into your present what your parallel self has already mastered in another reality. Think of it as accessing a cosmic database. Each parallel version of yourself represents a specific set of experiences, decisions, and wisdom that can be unlocked when you tune into these realities. For example, if you're trying to solve a specific problem or achieve a goal that seems far away, connecting with that parallel version of yourself that has already solved it can greatly speed up the process. It has already traveled the path you are on now and can offer a deep understanding of how to achieve what you want with more efficiency and less resistance. This wisdom from your parallel version can be subtle or even surprising. Sometimes, it manifests as intuitions or inexplicable feelings that, when followed, lead you exactly where you need to be. Other times, this wisdom may emerge in moments of quiet, when you are deeply connected with your inner self. No matter the form it takes, the fact is that this parallel self has much to teach you. It has already lived the experiences you seek, found solutions to the challenges you face, and most importantly, mastered the art of manifesting what you desire in alternative realities. And when you connect with your parallel version, you realize that the limitations you often attribute to your life, whether in the field of time, resources, or opportunities, are merely reflections of a limited perception of reality. This advanced version of you has something crucial to teach, that you, here and now, have the power to transcend the barriers of what seems impossible. And as you integrate this knowledge, you realize that the parallel self is an active and present part of your journey. And this connection goes far beyond simply accessing information. It's about incorporating the experiences it has already lived, bringing into the now what can completely transform your reality. This connection leads us to explore the concept of quantum jumping. The concept of quantum jumps may seem like something drawn from complex physics theories, but it also has direct implications in the field of consciousness and manifestation. In simple terms, a quantum jump is the movement from one state of being to another, quickly and unexpectedly, without the need to pass through all the intermediate stages. Applied to the idea of parallel realities, a quantum jump is like a channel change, where you tune your consciousness to a new reality, a new version of yourself, without needing to follow the traditional and linear path to reach that state. This movement between realities occurs when you align your vibration and perception with a version of yourself that is already living what you want to experience. Just like the parallel self mentioned earlier, quantum jumping allows you to access alternative realities where your desires are already a reality. The process of making a quantum jump involves an intentional focus on visualization and controlling your emotional vibration. It all begins with the practice of conscious visualization. So let's explore a simple but powerful method for this practice. First of all, clearly define what you want to manifest. Whether it's a change of circumstance, behavior, or personal fulfillment, have a precise vision of what you want to bring into your life. Find a quiet moment and start visualizing the reality you want. Imagine it with all the sensory details, how you feel, what you see, how the people around you react to this new version of you. The key is to make this visualization as real as possible. The visualization needs to be accompanied by genuine emotion. Feel as if you are already living that reality. This is the vibrational frequency that connects your consciousness to the version of yourself that is already living that reality. After the visualization, let go of any attachment to how and when it will manifest. Trust the process, knowing that the quantum jump has already happened energetically. even if you don't yet see the changes in the physical plane. Frequent and intentional meditations are powerful tools to reinforce these jumps. So, try to practice daily, always maintaining the feeling that what you desire is already part of your reality. Mastering the practice of quantum jumps can impressively speed up the realization of your desires. By jumping directly to a reality where your goals have already been achieved, you eliminate internal resistance and the blocks that often slow down the manifestation process. Quantum jumps allow you to experience faster results, transforming your life in a non-linear way. Instead of waiting for gradual changes, you start experiencing immediate transformations because your consciousness aligns directly with a version of yourself that already possesses what you are seeking. By regularly practicing these jumps, you not only speed up the manifestation of your desires, but also transform the way you perceive and interact with time and reality. When integrated into your daily routine, this practice can open doors to realities you never imagined possible, becoming a powerful tool for personal transformation. When we talk about manifesting desires, time plays a crucial role, but not in the traditional way we're used to. Our perception of time can speed up or slow down the manifestation process, depending on how we relate to it. The more you see your desire as something distant, something that has yet to happen, the more you extend that distance in time. So, the key to manifesting more quickly is to shorten that perception of time, treating the desire as something that is already in motion and in the process of becoming real now, not as a future promise. This is done by aligning our mind and emotions with the vibrational state of already having, eliminating the feeling of lack or waiting. What many don't realize is that manifestation is less related to chronological time and more to emotional and vibrational states. To manifest effectively, your internal state needs to be in tune with the result you desire. If your desire is surrounded by feelings of doubt, impatience, or anxiety, those vibrational states create resistance, preventing the desire from manifesting quickly. On the other hand, when you adjust your vibration to match what you desire, meaning when you feel the emotion of already having achieved that goal, time begins to bend in your favor. Emotions of joy, gratitude, and excitement, when aligned with your desire, are signs to the universe that you are ready to receive. So the key to accelerating manifestation is to live as if the desire has already been realized. This means that instead of anxiously waiting for the future, you begin to act, think, and feel as if your desire is already part of your present reality. This approach completely shifts your vibration and causes time to seem to collapse, bringing the desired result more quickly into your experience. This transforms the manifestation process into something dynamic, fluid, and effective. Quantum physics offers a fascinating understanding of how multiple realities coexist and how we can access them through our consciousness. The concept of quantum superposition suggests that all possible realities already exist simultaneously. In simple terms, this means that at any given moment, there are countless versions of you living different experiences in different realities. Each of these realities is on standby, like a quantum particle that exists in multiple states until an observation or interaction takes place. This idea of superposition indicates that just as an electron can be in several places at once until observed, all of your versions and possibilities already exist. Your current reality is just one of infinite alternatives. But what makes one of these realities become your lived experience? The act of collapsing one of these specific realities is where your consciousness comes into play. When you intentionally focus on a particular reality, whether through thoughts, emotions, or practices like visualization, you effectively collapse that possibility into the material plane. Your conscious attention acts as the observer, transforming one of the many versions of your reality into a concrete, lived experience. This interaction between consciousness and quantum realities allows you to choose which experience you want to live. It is not a passive process. On the contrary, it is an act of intentionality and vibrational alignment. When you are vibrationally aligned with the version of yourself that has already achieved your goals, you collapse that reality, making it your present experience. In practice, this means that by visualizing your goal as already realized and aligning emotionally with that vision, you are collapsing that possibility among the many that exist. This is the power of quantum physics applied to manifestation. When you understand that all possibilities already exist and that reality is simply a matter of conscious choice, everything changes completely. Spiritually, this practice elevates the understanding that you are not an isolated being living in a fixed and unchanging world. On the contrary, you are the active creator of your experience, able to shape your life from the infinite possibilities that already coexist. This process not only transforms your physical reality, bringing faster and more effective results, but also leads you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, where you begin to realize that the limits you once accepted are merely mental constructions. And with expanded consciousness, you start living in a more conscious, intentional, and connected way with the vast field of possibilities that has always been within your reach. Thank you for embarking on this journey with me. If this video resonated with you, I invite you to like and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit from this message. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Thanks again for watching and for joining me. Take care and see you soon.